Orlando Magic, the 7 seed, will take on the 2 seed Boston Celtics when the playoffs officially start. What are your thoughts on that series, and how many games you think is going to go?
I think one real quick is like I hope that the Hawks honestly don't make it. I hope that they lose the next game and don't make it into the playoffs because they are without their second best player. And honestly, Jalen Johnson might be their best player. And I think that's really tough. And they also don't have Clint Capella and I think another person too. So they just didn't look, just looked terrible, honestly, out there against the Magic. But I think that the Magic are going to get smacked. They might win one game, but like the way that they even looked tonight against this depleted ass Hawks team was just not really good. Their Cole Anthony is a hooper and he was going crazy, but he's to me, like a J.R. Smith type of guy. It's like I can't rely on that to happen. Like if it's gonna happen, that's gonna be great. But I just don't know if he's gonna be hot like that every night. And then there are other guys like Franz can't shoot threes anymore, which is super crazy to me because he wasn't a bad 3-point shooter his like first 2 years, but he's terrible now. And Paolo can just be inconsistent shooting percentage wise. I think that he's always going to do some good things, especially tonight. Like he had a lot of assists when he wasn't scoring early. And of course, he's going to get rebounds, and they're a great defensive team, but like they just don't have scorers. They don't have a lot of guys who can go off the dribble and like do things. So, playing the Celtics, who for all intents and purposes are still the great team that they were last year, I just don't think, honestly, I think they would be very lucky to even get one game.
Mm, interesting. So you got a 4-0 sweep.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about the Orlando Magic is, well, first and foremost, we can kind of like go back to memory lane. So obviously they're not within the same division, so they only played each other 3 times this year, and out of those 3 times, Orlando lost twice out of those 3 times. So the first meeting they lost only by 4 points. Second meeting they lost by damn near 30, and then the third meeting they lost by 20 as well too. But let's not forget that their 2 stars, Wagner and Paolo, were kind of in and out of the lineup as well too. So I'm looking right now, and it looks like Franz was only available for one game with them, which was literally on the ninth. And he played pretty efficient, 9 of 17 from the field, but he missed the first 2 games. And then Paolo obviously had the same sort of similar injury, so he missed some key games with them as well too. So it would definitely be a completely new look. One thing I do like about Orlando is that they do have, I feel like, the most size for Boston um, that they're going to face. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think there could be some moments where you see Tatum and Brown getting bothered, but the overall talent gap with Orlando versus with Boston is just through the roof.
Right.
So I don't necessarily see it being a sweep because Boston do play with their food. They're the type of team who lives and die by three, even though they live and die by the three. Like they don't necessarily always have to do that. Like they have the personnel to play inside out and slow the game down, but they kind of are a drive and kick team that lives and die by the three. So, having said that, if they have a bad shooting night, there's a lot of points and transitions that can get generated for the Orlando Magic. So I can see them probably stealing one home game, but overall, I feel like it goes 4-1 in favor of Boston. Boston kind of coasted at times this year, and obviously they kind of took a blueprint out of Coach Pop of the old, where they didn't necessarily play or not play, but they rested a good amount of their starters throughout the entire season just to stay fresh. So I feel like they're going to be motivated. They're going to turn that playoffs switch on, and it's going to be a good one. So I feel like there's probably going to be maybe 1 or 2 blowouts from just being hot from deep, and then from there, it's probably just going to be a grind out game, um, and then like a back and forth game, and they pull back a little late in one of those games. But I think overall it's going to be 4-1. Star power, they got it. Depth, they got it. Coaching, they got it as well too. And it's just something about having Porzingis, who's essentially their luxury, who's essentially like their KD, how KD was for the Golden State Warriors when they try to go on that three-peat. I just don't see I just don't see it being good. So it's gonna be interesting, but
I
I got 4-1, man. I got 4-1.
quick question. I know you were mentioning who was playing in those games. Did the Celtics have all their players? Like was Porzingis playing? Was Holiday playing?
See, I should have looked in on that as well too. But if I were a betting man, I would say one thing that was probably constant was one of the starting five was definitely out of that because Porzingis didn't come back to what December I think as well too. Drew Holiday was battling some injuries.
Yeah.
Jalen Brown had some nagging injuries that he kind of went through as well too. So I'm definitely gonna look that one up and see what's good with that. So that definitely does add another element to it. So
I just
yeah,
of course they're gonna dominate the Magic just are
I just
the
like that
Magic
size in the half court.
I feel you, but the Magic against like uh an average to below average defense still can barely get to like 100. They're about to
Mhm.
play a great defense with size and like yeah. But I mean, you're only giving them one game, so it's not like I just think they're gonna get smacked. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough, but they're the defending champs for a reason. They got the higher seed for a reason. So I I expect them to take care of business. Like I said, just because of how they play their brand of basketball and how they can be notable for going cold from three. That's the only reason why I give Orlando a chance as well too. Because Boston on a good night can give you 115, 120, 130 a night. So if they clanking them threes, I can see it being in the low 100s or high 90s.
yep. So
So
what?
so you got sweep. I got 4-1. Are you changing your mind with that?
Nope.